Hello everybody and welcome to the GT Planet Fantasy Series round 21 from the Phoenix International Raceway. Today we have a heck of a race on hand for the Gran Turismo 300 kilometers. On pole is GT Racer 22 with RCB on his outside, then Eva and Niku driver HC in the second row, the rest of the field scrolling on your left hand side. The last time we were at Phoenix International Raceway, it was the old configuration between races. Very quickly, an exterior project and interior project has reconfigured the racetrack. The start-finish line no longer where you see that straightaway. It is now on the exit of what was the old turn 2. GT Racer 22 blowing an engine in final practice, but everything good to go. No tail end of the line kind of penalties in the GTPFS, so no worries there. Fresh engine and ready to go in the number 22 machine. Hopefully all those omens are out of the way in the practice session. An excellent qualifying run and a very close one for all 42 cars that are taking the green flag today. Pace car off out of the old turn 4, and this is where the start-finish line used to be here. You can still see a little seam across the track for where the old start-finish was. However, it is now the back straightaway effectively as they make their way into turns 3 and 4 and into the restart zone. New start-finish line where that cute little cactus is. Green flag in the air, and GT Racer 22 leads us down through the dog leg, which is now turn 1. Or basically the dog leg still, into turns 1 and 2 as it is branded on the racetrack. First lap, 3 wide already through a lot of the field here. Angel trying to get a bit of a run there. Durr winning and RCB side by side. BK Glover points leader headed into this race. 3 wide with Clayton Hardy. Clayton, a nice qualifying run after a poor race at Road America. Lap 1 in the books as they cross start finish. You see the field as they go across. Now RCB under fire from the 7 of Eva, and Durr winning on the back as well. Niku driver HC with a good start in the 76 machine, one of the few Pontiacs in the field. Here's the mid-pack. Rusharam 5 is who the camera's focused on. Look at this, 3 wide and 4 wide in the back of the pack here. Already, this is lap 3 now as they go through the dog leg. Everybody fanning out. 4 wide in the back, maybe 5 wide in the back there as they try and manage the track position. Not a lot of room between these guys. You can see starting to string out just a little bit for the first 10 cars or so, but it almost looks like Talladega in the back. We saw something similar to this at Richmond. They really like to fan out recently on these 3/4 mile long racetracks. We got a blown engine there. I believe that might have been the 46 of Davis. It is Davis in the 46 machine, so Honda still having problems after a pretty abysmal performance at Road America in terms of reliability. SVX carried the torch though and had a decent finish in the number 8 car. He's running decent well at the moment now inside the top 10. Pass for the lead now on lap 5. Eva going inside of GT Racer 22. The pole sitter tries to fight back on the outside. Down the back straightaway though. Not going to have enough. Well, he's still going to hang there with the 7. Gets a nice run off, but it looks like Eva is going to take control now into turn 3 and 4 and towards that start-finish line. RCB right on the heels as well, looking to make some moves. RCB and Eva both notoriously pretty well around Phoenix. They know their way around this racetrack quite well. This is Akmuck making his way up through the field a bit as well. Still that mid-pack getting very dicey. Cutie Kenosha there. You see Silver Wing, Skython. All of them in the mid to back pack making their way up through the field. Again, 3 wide in several rows as they make their way out of turn 2 and towards the old front straightaway. You see single file for the first 12 or 10 cars, and then still a gaggle, and we're 7 laps in and they're still running this way. Everybody doing a nice job of keeping it relatively clean. Here is last week's winner, the Cybertron, getting a little bit of contact there with Samurai 8 Juice, I believe. That was who he was fighting for the win at one point. I believe that's Samurai in the 77 machine. So things getting close in the back, but nobody going around and nobody really making any real contact. So nice and tidy. Here's how the field runs after about 10 laps, and they are all still in a bit of a gaggle in the back half of the field. Definitely fun racing on hand. Angel opening up a bit of a gap now to GT Racer 22, or excuse me, Eva. Still working through the name changes as they go mid-season. She is opening up a bit of a gap to GT Racer 22, and the rest of the field still pretty tightly bunched at the moment. Getting a little further on in the race, Eva continues to open the gap, still single file now. Things finally starting to spread out after about 20 laps. You can see Amaterasu making a move on Michelin in the mid-pack, and I believe that is Fisher trying to make a move on Whitetail, but for the most part, single file now, finally, after a lot of running. Angel not only opening up a gap, but is also the fastest car on the racetrack, turning the fastest lap. She is absolutely on fire at the moment in that Coca-Cola machine, trying to put on a really good show. She almost won her first race of her career here a year ago, filling in for Furinkazin in the 54 in one of her her first starts. I believe it was her third start here. Looking very strong today, still chasing that W. Rest of the field coming by. Here they are now after about 40 laps. You see top left of your screen. And also on the racetrack, GT Racer 22 backing up a bit more now. RCB still all over the back end of the 22, but Clayton Hardy is here, and the three of them have started to break away from the rest of the field now. So it is a one-car pack, then a bit of a three-car group, and now everybody's starting to string out a bit more. Last week's winner at Road America, DeCybertron, struggling a bit today now. He had a really strong run at Road America, really needed that win to help him in the points, but now not having the best of starts early in Phoenix. Angel is having an absolute show at the moment, almost a full straightaway back to RCB, who has now gotten around GT Racer 22, then Clayton Hardy, Akmuck, SVX having another good run as well as they make their way around for the 45th time. 188 laps scheduled for today's race. We got a car in the wall in the back there. Caution lights are on. It's Raven 214. Gets a little bit of help, I believe, from Jock P22. Into the wall, gets it going again. Looks like he's going to be more or less okay on board with the 97. Looks like Jock gets underneath, gets the nose barely there, and just gives a little tap to the back of the 97, and Raven into the wall, the IK9 boards. On board with Jock. Yeah, I mean, as close as they were getting, somebody had to give at some point, and I'm surprised that we didn't see that earlier, to be honest. Jock didn't look like he meant to get in there, just may have shoved it in a little bit too deep. Both of them continue running, though. So here's something interesting. With the way this pace car comes out, it's just past start-finish line because of how the pit lane configuration is. So Angel catches the pace car and well before everybody else. So they come through pit lane here, and you see the pace car at the line. As we look through the field, Angel actually beat the rest of the field to the pit lanes. So what ends up happening is that Angel gets about a 10-second, 5-second head start down the pit, so she's going to have a very easy in and out, will hold on to the lead, barring a major issue. The rest of them negotiating the tight pit lane here, notorious for taking some victims, but the reworking of the pit lane will help these drivers quite a lot with negotiating things. There you saw Angel pulling off way ahead of everybody else. RCB gets out, then it's Clayton. So GT22 having a big miscue in the pit lane. There you see him now coming out of the pits. He loses several positions, so he's going to have a lot of working to do to get back up into the top 5, and the rest of them pouring out through the funnel of the pit lane, as you see here. 3 cars, Whitetail, DeCybertron, and Swiftsmith, all having some issues in the pit lane. You see the field going by there to put them a lap down. With the 1 lap to go, they all 3 pull out of the pit lane. Not sure what the issue was, but all 3 of them having the same issue. And here they are coming to take the green flag. Pace car's already off here as it's gone down the back straightaway pit lane. Here come these 3. Angel's coming to take the green flag. Doesn't know that these lap cars are coming. Takes the green flag in the restart zone. And here comes all 3 of them to get their lap back. This does put them back on the lead lap, so they're fighting for keeps at the moment. If we could get a quick caution, they could recover from that issue. And everybody in that first bit of row is just all confused, wondering why in the world 3 cars have just gone screaming up the inside of them. And there's the scoring as they come across the line. You'll see it here. Whitetail barely gets past by Eva to go another lap down, but Swiftsmith and DeCybertron put themselves back on the lead lap, so this is all worth fighting for. And what this does is it takes the clean air away from Angel. Here comes Hardy trying to pass not only RCB but pass his cousin to take the lead. And now Angel still hanging on, Eva in the 7, trying to get around the lap traffic. Hardy is there. RCB now makes it 3 wide for the lead. Now Akmuck gets inside. Akmuck and Eva have history at this racetrack. It was a bit of a wreck fest headed into turn 2 between these two, and then of course the rivalry between Eva and Hardy. So no love lost between any of these drivers right now. RCB trying to get his nose in and get a win. Looking all over the back of the 7. Looks like Hardy's going to have it for the time being, pushing very hard on the dogleg to try and get around Whitetail. These 3 still on the lead lap, just the tail end of it, so they're fighting to stay on the lead lap while these all drivers fight in the back to take position. No clean air for the leader anymore, so that does not let Angel step away like she had been. Clayton Hardy all over the quarter panel now, still trying to make that bottom work. Not quite going to get it to happen, though. Eva does pull away. Now 3 wide as Akmuk tries to go for second place and make a diving pass. RCB still hanging tough on the outside, and here's SVX. Durr winning in the mix now as well. Eva all over the back end of Whitetail at the moment. This is looking back from the number 9 machine. Hardy slots in behind. Eva getting a little impatient now, knowing how quick her car is when it's all by itself, looking very racy and almost on the back bumper now, Whitetail. You got to be careful when you're racing with these leaders like this. You could very well get dumped if you're not careful trying to defend. Of course, trying to defend to stay on the lead lap, so it's all worth fighting for. Eva does get by Whitetail here and now pulls a slight gap, but here's the rest of the field, 3 and 4 wide behind them as they all battle, getting closer to the halfway point. Hardy looking now at Whitetail as Eva does work through some of this lap traffic. Hardy notorious for not getting through the lap traffic as well as other drivers, but going to have to try and step it up a little bit here if he's going to have a chance at taking the lead from his cousin. A bit of a blood rivalries here. Definitely, and speaking of, I think that's Amaterasu in the background. It is Amaterasu making a move now on Hardy. That's Angel's sister. So all kinds of rivalries on and off between the teams, more just personal battles happening right now as Amaterasu tries to take second place from Hardy and dispose of him as quickly as possible. Now Akmuk is still on the back door as well and has own trying to make his way up as well. Remember, Audi won here with Vetman earlier on in the season, the first time we came here before the reconfiguration. Of course, the asphalt's not as smooth as it was when we were here before, and all the reconfigurations of how this track runs has made this a bit of a different race than what it was before, as the field takes off into what was the old turn 1 and is now the final corner of this racetrack. So a very unique redesign, a risky one, I think a lot of people would have called it, but so far putting on a good show today. Here's the Cybertron getting underneath Eva to take his lap back yet again. So still several laps on, they cannot fight through this lap traffic entirely. And it's Swift Smith heading the pack, but Eva heading the race. Amaterasu now safely into second. Clayton Hardy falling back quite a bit now in the clutch is a teammate race car. He's having some issues at the moment. He pushed very hard, may have burned off his tires, or maybe trying to nurse a mechanical issue, not sure. Here's Durr winning now in the number 20 machine, that blue Payday car on the outside of Amaterasu, trying to challenge for second as Eva challenges now to take the lead of the physical field. And it looks like finally she's going to get her way in front of all the lapped cars. Maybe not, though, because Swiftsmith trying to power back on the outside. Not going to get it done. Angel shuts the door, and Eva will now take the lead overall. And kind of in time, too, because both Durr winning and Amaterasu were coming relatively quick. Here's Audi Man 2011. Here's Hardy fading back. 3 wide, stuck up on the outside. There's Skython, who's made his way very nicely through the field so far. TBW HHS hanging around there as well. Looks like these drivers are all making their way through. Now here's Amaterasu on the back end of the Cybertron. 3 wide with 2 lap cars as Durr winning as he tries to come through, and he will come through now and hold on right behind Amaterasu, so they continue to fight for second place. The Cybertron still trying to fight with the other 2 cars that are now safely a lap down. Amaterasu not having any of it, though. Moves the 31, I don't think with contact, but definitely shoved it in there. And here's Vetman in the Audi. Mentioned he had won the last time we came here, the last race on the old configuration. He now sits in the pit lane with a mechanical issue. Not sure what's wrong. He's several laps down, but they're not giving up on that car yet, so keep an eye if he comes back out in the number 15. Looking back from Eva now, Amaterasu finally clears the final lapped car of the Cybertron, and Durr winning now making quick work as well. So the 3 of them going to try and set their sights on Eva and try and get around the number 7 machine, who has led the majority of the laps so far today, getting close to the 100 lap point, just past halfway now, or a little bit past it. Now Durr winning trying to make a move on Amaterasu for second place out of turn 2. Looks like he's going to get it done. Maybe not, though, because Amaterasu's going to power back on the outside. The outside line very strong through 1 and 2. Now trying to make it work in 3 and 4 across start-finish line. It looks like Amaterasu might hang on to this. Durr winning going to try and make it work through the dogleg and eventually would get in front of the 84 machine. And now, separating the family members, is going to head off and try and take out the 7. Well, not take out hopefully not take out the 7, but take down the 7 from the lead. You can see the rest of the field in your foreground here and the results at the moment as they scroll from the top left. working very close to the 100 lap mark as they all make their way through now. Angel's gap is gone. The number 7 is now very much having the mirrors filled as the rest of the field comes by. You can see a very, very beautiful track is Phoenix, especially after the redesign. A lot more facilities, excuse me, but a lot more for the fans to see and the drivers to have as well. Winning all over the back end of the 7 in the meantime. Evo really trying to hold off. She's done a great job so far. She's led close to 100 laps now. Remember, she took the lead from GT22 not too long into the race and then kind of never looked back. Although it was under a lot of fire during the lap traffic, she will hold on to the lead for the time being, though. Amaterasu still in close tow, but Winning closer than anybody's been today to the number 7 machine since Eva has taken the lead. Winning 2 Chevys and a Toyota there, and then RCB and another Chevy, and Race Car now moves himself up into 5th. He's had a great string of races recently. Here's a look at that group here. GT22 getting himself back into the top 5 finally after a botched pit stop under the first caution. Took him a long time to get back there, but he's back in contention once again, and that's good for him. You can see the rest of the field scrolling through here. Hardy falling back even further. I fail to believe that this is more than a tire burning off situation. He is struggling and is dropping like a rock through the pack right now. All over the back end of the 7 machine. This is on board with Winning's front bumper as they come through turns 1 and 2 down the back stretch, the old front stretch. And looking back now at Amaterasu, these top 3 are still incredibly close. Cybertron looking at all 3 of them now. He's still in the fight. If all 3 of them took each other out, Cybertron's back on the lead lap. So he still has everything to fight for. He looks to the inside of Winning now as Amaterasu takes second back and has another go at her sister. Now Angel scooting away maybe a car length or 2 from Amaterasu, but Amaterasu getting as close as she has been to the number 7 machine. And now you see RCB still hanging on there, taking care of his tires, though we are getting towards the end of the fuel run and the tire run as well. They can make it from here to the checkered flag. Here's Winning moving Amaterasu right behind Eva. And here comes Amaterasu. Eva, yep, okay, she's hit the pit lane. That's what's happened. Not a problem. I believe this is a scheduled pit stop for the number 7. It is going to be a scheduled pit stop. Raven 214 in as well. SVX makes an early pit stop now. This is very early for these drivers to be making, especially with Eva having as quick a car as she has. Very early pit stop. And that opens the window, though, for everybody else. There's points leader coming into this race, BK Glover. There is Jock P22, who was involved in that incident earlier. Goofy Tyler in pit lane. Susan Mia, who's been having a very strong points run lately, was leading a couple rounds ago. Here's Amaterasu and Winning, along with the Cybertron. I believe that is Audi Man. It is Audi Man 2011 in the pit lane, as well as Smurfy Bug and Pink Kitty and a few others. Here's Amaterasu coming out of the pit lane. Where is Eva? There she is, that red dot that just went across your screen. So she did end up winning out on this, Eva did, even though she threw herself into the danger zone. If a caution came out through the pit cycle, it could have very well ruined her race, but it pays off. She gets a little bit of breathing room. Still didn't leap over to Cybertron, though, interestingly enough. I believe the Cybertron had issues in the pit lane, is actually more laps down. Yeah, same for those same 3 cars that had issues earlier on are having the same sort of issues again. So that's very interesting to note. But it does put the Cybertron at pace and in front of Eva again, and it is going to frustrate a little bit, but he's going to scoot away while Eva falls back. They made an adjustment on that number 7. It doesn't seem to be the trick, because here's Winning now, and Amaterasu with the clean air even, all over the 7 car. Worth noting, TBW HHS was one of those early pitters, as well as Skython. Skython, who was very deep back, and TBW HHS, who was pretty deep back as well. They've made their way up. TBW HHS pretty quick around here earlier in the season as well. Winning now trying to make a move on Eva. Not many laps left, only about 40 to go. Winning does make the pass now. The green flag pit stops have fully cycled, so the scoreboard is accurate. And now RCB went long on the pit stops. That's why he's back in 10th, and he was leading earlier. He stayed out and led some laps. Winning making the pass, though, for the lead. Amaterasu 3 wide in the back for 3rd place. That's the 5 of them headed towards you. SVX very nicely in 6th, comfortably as well, I might add. Duststones moved himself up into the top 10 as well. And it looks like Audi Man 2011 lost a couple of positions in the pit battle, but nothing too bad there. GT22, another slow stop, falls back a little further through the running order. There you see Hardy very deep in the field, running with Goofy Tyler and crew. He's having all kinds of issues after challenging for the lead earlier. On board with Skython, who's having an absolute show right now. The only Dodge in the field really trying to make the most of a team that really doesn't have that much funding or any real sponsorship on the machine. Really putting on a good show here. Looking underneath TBWHHS in the number 2. And it looks like he's going to try around the outside now. Amaterasu right behind the 7. Winning, opening up about a second now over the 7 of Eva. Nobody else are able to get around the 7, though, so Winning looking very strong. Whatever adjustments they made to the number 20 machine, that Team Kate Upton car is taking off into the sunset, and it is going to take a lot to stop him from just opening up a gap, a very large one at that. Here's BK Glover now running around the midfield. Well, not quite the midfield, actually. He is up towards the front here. There's GT Racer 22. These guys are just a little bit off the top 10 in position as we make our way through. Here is Goofy Tyler. You see Clayton Hardy we were talking about. He's all the way back here still. Quiet Girl all over. Quiet Girl had an excellent weekend at Road America. Not so much here. Oh, and there goes the engine on the 33. So Jordan's involved. There goes Tyler. Oh, they all hit the wall. Caution's out with only a handful of laps to go. This changes everything. And Hardy, who we had seen dropping, there's the leaders getting by pretty cleanly here. No real issues for them. As you see Skython moving up into 3rd place as this happens. Yeah, the engine lets go on the 33. Excuse me, 4th for Skython. Engine lets go on the 33, trying to get out of the way, but in the middle of a pack, it's hard to do. That explains why he was fading so quickly. He was nursing an issue, it would appear, with the engine. On board with Jordan. Nowhere really to go. Gets into the back of him, and sayonara. They go off together. Goofy Tyler looks like he's going to be okay, but Hardy is out of the race. There's Tyler in the pit lane. He's the only one to pit, and that was only for repairs. He no longer has a hood on that number 19 machine, but he is going to continue on. Looks like Fisher blows the engine under caution. So a couple of engines letting go, although Fisher hadn't been fading quite like how Hardy had been. So Hardy had been nursing an issue for quite some time, and his finally let go, whereas Fisher here, I'm not really sure why he's had the problem he's had, but his engine does let go. There's the Cybertron pulling up, the 3 lap cars, the 3 Musketeers, once again here to frustrate the leaders. Green flags out, and they head off into the dogleg. 3 wide now. Dustone, Winning Dustone a little further back here. There he is on the right-hand side of your screen in that white and gold car, but Winning pushed to the top, allows for Skython to come screaming up through the inside, so Skython's going to go to the lead maybe for a minute. Look at this, on board with Skython. He's the first car back that doesn't have a lapper on his inside. He takes full advantage of this, pulls to the inside from 4th place, goes inside of Amaterasu, lets the lappers push Winning and Angel wide, inside of Eva now. 3 wide on the bottom, right behind the Cybertron, moves up in there. 3 wide right now with Winning. Winning's going to power back on the outside, but Skython absolutely flying on that restart and really giving everybody a show. Winning a bit further up in the traffic now. You see Eva pushed all the way out of the groove, now falling back quite quickly. Here comes SVX through the middle in the 8 car, one of the only Hondas that haven't been plagued with issues recently, except with Road America, where his engine did let go after a very eventful race. He had a good run going, looking to make up for it here. 4 wide. Here comes Audi Man through. That's Dustone on the bottom. Speaking of issues with the Hondas, I don't know if this was a penalty or an issue or what, but Susan Mia, NASCAR Fan 1400, and Yuki Driver HC all make a pit stop. I'm not sure why, but they all go a lap down, so that will effectively take them out of the running as well, which is unfortunate because they were all having relatively good runs. All right, so now looking back, 1 more lap car for Winning to clear. Winning in the later stage of this race has been absolutely unbeatable on speed and is looking at 1 more car to pass. There you see him working on Whitetail now. Then Skython looking to make an event of this here in the Dodge Dart. Now you can see it is a bit of a roadblock for SVX, 2 lappers in front of him, but SVX having an absolute run today. Great job so far. Hopefully the Honda power will hang on and he can bring it home inside the top 5, because after his run at Road America, he definitely deserves it. The gap is closing between the 11 and the 20. This might not be over yet. Whitetail really holding up Winning. If Skython can get there before Winning can clear Whitetail, this might be a grandstand finish, because we're getting close to only about 20 laps to go now. Looking back, you can see Skython getting ever larger in the mirror, and going to take a big run on the outside. Going to try and go around the outside of Winning, perhaps. Yeah, he's going to go to the outside, going to try it. Going to try and squeeze the 11 around the outside of the Chevrolet. Not going to make it happen this time, though. Whitetail still in front. Through the dogleg they go. Now you see SVX scooting away from the rest of the competition to try and secure that podium spot now. Winning still all over the back. Only about 18 laps to go now. Cannot get by Whitetail. Whitetail once again frustrating the leaders, much like we saw with Swift Smith frustrating Eva earlier, who, by the way, has fallen off the face of the planet. No idea what's happened to the 7 car. She's still not even in frame yet. There she is now behind her boss in the number 80, who is a lap down. She has fallen absolutely off the cliff. Not sure what they did to the 7 after that green flag pit stop, but it has absolutely trashed the 7. And that is a shame to see. What isn't a shame, though, is the 20 car and the 11 having a bit of a scrap here behind the 9 car. Finally, Winning gets underneath Whitetail in the Pontiac. Those Pontiacs looking pretty stout today. The 20 now underneath on that little hook between the apron and the actual racetrack. A very popular line over the years here. And finally, Winning gets in front. And to make matters worse for Skython, not only does he have to get around Whitetail to have a shot at Winning now, but Swift Smith's found his way back around. And here comes Audi Man 2011 in the 43 car. He's made his way past SVX, and now he wants to challenge for second. Race car still holding on to that 5th place. RCB's rebounded after the green flag pit stops where he stayed out perhaps a little too long. He's back in 6th. Then Duststone, Smurfy Bug. You see Angel all the way in the back there. Pink Kitty's moved her way up into the 10th as well. On board, looking at Audi Man 2011's number 43 Chevrolet, getting ever closer, within a 10th now of Skython. The car directly in front of him is Skython in the Dodge Dart. Perhaps Skython burned off his tires trying to have a go at Winning. Wouldn't be a surprise because Winning was incredibly fast, and Skython knew that that was his time to strike if he was going to get in front. Track position pretty important here, but it's not been impossible to pass, but now it looks like Winning opening it up a bit of a gap. Skython putting a bit of a gap now to Audi Man. Audi Man backs off a bit, whether the tires or overheating issues. Very hot here in Arizona, hot summer day. Now as they make their way out through what was the old turn 3 and 4, where we had a photo finish here not many months ago with one of the Audis. We haven't heard much of the Audis other than blowing up. There's Harsk, one of the Audis. And Akmuck was up front earlier on, but not been the race they've had since the reconfiguration. Now as they make their way across, 1 lap to go for Winning in the number 20. You see very clear of Whitetail, and Skython now under his own fight with the 43 machine for second. So it's smooth sailing and a clear racetrack for the number 20 as he makes his way out of where the old finish line used to be. Now the backstretch. You see Audi Man all over the back of the 11. That fight might not be over yet, but it is over for the win. And Winning with a stout run at the end of the second half here. He will take the checkered flag. Whitetail crosses. There you see it looks like Skython will hold on. Then RCB and Race Car to round out the top 5. SVX holds on for a good top 10 run that he definitely needed. TBWHHS with good strategy puts himself in the top 10. You see Eva way in the back there. An absolute miserable second half for her. But not so much for the 20. Good run and a great win for Team Kate Upton. They've really been needing one after a bit of a drought. And now here is Skython with an absolute run as well. He really, really can be proud of that race. He may not have won it, but he definitely put on a show for the fans and gave it everything he had, and he held on for a great runner-up finish. Akmuck takes an extra lap for whatever reason, I think to avoid any damages. Duststone in the pits, and here's Winning. He took a pass through the pit lane and then decided to go out and do the donuts that he has definitely earned. He was up front in qualifying, wasn't there in the first half, but he was there when it counted and pulled away and definitely managed the traffic the way that he needed to. Winning is your winner and living up to his name now and giving the fans in the dogleg a bit of a smoke show, and that is definitely one that they've been waiting for. A rather tidy race, not too many big crashes. Skython second, Audi Man, then RCB, Race Car SVX, Duststone, Pig Kitty, Smurfy Bug, TBWHHS, the B-Man, Amaterasu with a decent finish, but definitely looking for a bit more than what she had there. Then Doodle, GT Racer 22, the pole sitter, Michelin, Harsk, BK Glover, Jordan, Cuny Kenosha, Silverwing, Scuderia, Lucas, Akmuck, Jaragini, Tired Iron, Jock P22, Eva, all the way in 26th after that. And then Raven 214 and Quiet Girl, and you saw the rest on your screen there. Absolutely scratching their heads, I'm sure, is going to be the 7 crew. I don't know what they've done to that car, but it absolutely fell off the mark after being so strong early on. But it is going to be this man in the number 20 who was consistent and strong at the end when it mattered. Durr winning, taking home the checkered flag. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all your continued support and patience for the GT Planet Fantasy Series. Next time we see you, we'll be in Sonoma, California for the second trip there, paying tribute to the NASCAR legend Tony Stewart. We hope to see you there for some lefts, rights, and some curb hopping. Take care.